Ruler School is brought to you by Odyssey Games, where you can go to pre-order upcoming Force of Will sets, ccgprime.com for singles and supplies, cardodoko.com for those rulers in the international market looking for product, as well as our guest lecturer members Vite Ramen and Full Grammar Alchemist. Class is in session.
Hey there guys, welcome back to another deck profile with yours truly, Paul Reisman. Today we are going over the new Robo Maeda ruler that we have from 10 Oaths of the Proto-Pater-Polis' War. This was one of the rulers I was really interested in exploring a little bit because there is some really interesting axes of play here. So first of all, we're playing the Battle at the Sacred Ruins version of this list. As the game starts, I can put a Sacred Laboratory into the field. Oh look, I'm playing 4 of this. When I do, I draw 2 cards. This is going to be your power counter enabling card, as well as a way for you to bestow Ancient upon things, so they get this nice little additional +5/+5 from the Battle at the Sacred Ruins extension rule. If you would gain Build or Demolish, you gain both instead. That can be somewhat relevant because we are playing this handy little card, Hanadakor's CEO Pet. This is really helpful for getting rid of additions. It's also really good at getting rid of tokens, you know, just neat little cute effects that we get access to. You can put a power counter on this card. If there are exactly 3 power counters on this card, you can search your deck for a card, and you can only play this card, play this ability during a main phase. This card actually has a lot of value added to it, especially if you end up getting 3 power counters. Your XR, which is going to be easier if we read it this way. Let's see if we can get it loaded. If you have 3 power counters on this card, it'll gain an additional +5/+5. Nothing to really scoff at. I mean, we are looking at a card that in general is already going to be a 5/9 and then can destroy additions, search for additional cards. If you only have 3 power counters on it, you can continue to search. This card is really helpful for that. It's a little clunky in that if you tap it, you have to put a power counter on the card. So being able to spend those power counters is something that I really missed in this deck, because I wanted there to be ways for me to spend and get other things going, but hey, this is where we're at. We're playing 3 Robo Maeda, Peak of Technology, because he uses power counters, and he's a really good win condition and always has been since his release. This card is absolutely crazy. One thing you're going to want to recognize is you can pay the double green effect here to give Automaton Resonators you control all keyword abilities of cards. Keyword abilities of this card's in all zones. So in that event, your other automatons in the deck are going to have Quick Cast, Mythic, Protect, Eternal, Belligerence, Flying, tons of things. It's very, very, very fascinating. You know, they can also get Precision, Pierce, Bane, and Barrier if you do this third effect first. There's going to be a lot of really interesting things that you can bestow upon your other automatons. So we're playing an automaton package. He is also an ancient, so if he ends up with 3 power counters on him, he's going to become a base 9/9, who then gets other effects layered on top of him, so that's really relevant. This card is absolutely fantastic. Might even go to 4 in this list, he's just that good. We are playing a couple of Robo Mugo as well. This is really helpful in that you can just use Call of the Monarch, and then he also recovers all J/Resonators you control when this card deals battle damage to a player. So this is really helpful for that, being able to go wide a little bit with your with your other cards and just being able to swing in. Really helpful in especially the 0 matchup. This card is actually surprisingly relevant just on the field alone. This represents 18 damage. We are playing Wu Jia Wu, Hard Worker in Power Suit. This guy is really good because your opponent cannot chase to this card as long as you have Build or Demolish. You have both in this deck, by the way, because you are playing the battle version. This is your board wipe on a stick. He's really good for that particular reason. Personally, I still value Ultra Magic Stone Golem over him because overall that card is just cheaper. You could play it in this deck if you wanted to, but this is just kind of more pressure on your opponent. And he's really hard to get rid of from the chase because you can't chase him. So just keep this in mind. He does deal some damage and draw you an additional card, which can be relevant in some scenarios. this card was really fun to play with. Let's just go with that. He also is an automaton, so you can bestow some of the Robo Maeda stuff onto Wuja Wu, which is really helpful as well. We're playing for Therapist. So when I was looking at the different cards, the different rulers that people were piloting in the metagame, I kept coming back to the fact that it just felt like Zero was going to just rip through this deck without any remorse. And so Therapist at 4 just felt very, very, very relevant. In the event that you're able to stick a Robo Maeda and bestow its other abilities, its other keyword abilities onto Therapist, all of a sudden you have this thing that has Eternal, Precision, Pierce, Bane, Barrier. If you end up with 3 power counters on it, all of a sudden it's a 7/12 that has Barrier to Chance, Protect, and a whole host of other things. It just makes it really, really, really hard to get rid of. So this card is really, really good for that. The boost you can give to this to protect it from Epiphanic Priest is also relevant. So there's a lot of really good things going for this card in this particular list. It doesn't affect us whatsoever, other than, it genuinely doesn't affect us whatsoever. The XR does bestow the +5/+5 because it doesn't affect cards that are in the field. So it's also very relevant. Just throwing that out there. I think this card is absolutely bonkers in this list. The fact that you get to mainboard it is crazy. We are playing a cancel package in 3 Aki. This card allows you to search your deck for up to 2 Wind Resonator cards, including things like your CEO Pet, your Robo Maeda Peak of Technology, your Wuja Wu, your Chubby Fox, because it is technically a green resonator. You can also grab your gardening unit, which is really helpful. I just realized I'm going through the Paradox list, but guys, frankly, the deck is not that much different. Instead of, we're playing mostly the same cards, except in the Wanderer version, we're playing Fair's Spell and Light Lightning with Shiva in the sideboard. So I'm just going to keep going through the Paradox version here. Hope that's totally fine. We're also playing Command Point in both versions of the deck at 3. This allows you to double up on your power counters, which is really helpful. We're playing Gardening Unit for just some basic ramp. The deck doesn't give you access to quick cast things on any other turn other than yours, so sometimes you just want to be able to quick cast things in. Paradox version here is playing Sword of Progression. In this version, I ended up playing Fairer Spells for the Wanderer version, but I think Sword of Progression also fits into this list very, very, very well. We're playing Epiphanic Priest instead of Light Lightning in the Wanderer version, but for the most part, we're looking at the exact same list. This just gets rid of really troublesome cards that are going to try and prevent your Ender abilities from going off. There's just a lot of really good benefits to this card in general. The Magic Stone deck for the Paradox version is going to be a lot different. It's going to have a lot more life gain, but in the regular version for Wanderer, we're seeing pretty much the exact same stones that are being utilized. In Wanderer, you do get access to obviously all of the Diversity Stone lists and cards. Things like Gone could be very relevant for you. I was a little too worried about Zero, but I do think Gone in this list would go very, very, very far. Instead of Robo Mugo, you could just play Gone instead. You do have all Magic Stone types, and you can further diversify this stone list to give you even more names for Gone to hit and find that unique 5-stone combination. You can play Ultra Magic Stone Golem in this list as well to get rid of your opponent's boards relatively easy for really cheap, and then be very threatening. There's a lot of stuff going on here. In the Paradox version, I'm trying to limit myself from having to rely on Pain lands, but you do have to play at least a few Pain lands to get to the color specifications that you need. So we're playing 2 Memoria of Reincarnation, and of course you kind of lose some life from Resin Drop, but we are ramping, so we can get around some of these things relatively easy. This is, again, an automaton, so it just functions with the deck in its entirety. Let's get into the Ancient Beast version of this list. We actually also had a version of this list on the channel recently. Thank you to Robert Strong for piloting that list. We're going to go into why I did not play the Ancient Reinforcements version of this list for the channel, and that's simply because I think this card is way too good to ignore. Even though I cannot quick cast it on my opponent's turn, if I really wanted to, I would just play 3 for this card because he's just that strong. We're ramping a lot. We're shutting down some of the opponent's stuff by just being really hard to get rid of. Getting around Epiphanic Priest by saying I'm just going to get larger in general. I'm going to bestow flying onto my stuff so that you're going to have a hard time getting around that. Robo Maeda, I think he's just a really good card, and so for that reason, the XR here feels really restrictive. As you can see, you can start this with this card in your extension rule area only if your starting ruler is a Hanada ruler and you don't have non-ancient, beast resonators in your deck. You are locked into these specific cards, and while some of those cards are really helpful, this feels very, very, very restrictive in the way that this extension rule does not. So basically what you get access to is, instead of your secret laboratory power spot, you get access to Ancient Imaginarium, which does enable your Call of the Monarch abilities, but ultimately what you're doing is you're saying there are some cards in this deck that I'm just not going to be able to play, and I'm resigned to that fact. You do get access to a full board flying ability, which does some burn damage based on the number of beasts you have. This is probably one of your secondary win conditions outside of the Moose, which is really good at giving stuff Pierce, or also the old hand gimmick of Aradia as well. This card can be really devastating once you resolve it. But for the most part, you're kind of resigned to the idea that I don't get access to Robo Maeda Peak of Technology. I do get more utility out of Robo Mugo. But other than that, I think there's just a different axis of play that I would rather be piloting instead of the ancient beasts with Call of the Monarch. There's just not enough stuff that I think we're getting enough utility out of to actually make use of it. You don't even get access to your yokai because it's not an ancient and a beast. It's just a beast. So you can't even play that for its Call of the Monarch ability. So this is not my preferred version. There is something here. You do get burn, you do get pierce, you do get like just a whole host of different abilities on the old hand gimmick. But I'm just not feeling particularly drawn to it. That being said, you still get access to things like Aki, Pharaoh's Spell. You still get access to Command Point, Light Lightnings. In the Paradox version, I'd be looking at Sword of Progression as well, which honestly the Beast version might be better in this environment as compared to the Wanderer environment. But that being said, I'm not really sold on the Ancient Beast version quite yet. I'm willing to try it. Let me know if you guys have done that down in the comment section down below. I think it's a really interesting kit that we have access to, but I want a little bit more utility and I want a little bit more flexibility from this particular version. Other than that, guys, let me know what you thought of Robo Maeda. I honestly did not anticipate this deck being a little as frustrating as I found it to be from a deck building perspective and from a gameplay perspective. It seems very linear to me, but I think that might be okay. Sometimes we need decks in the format that are just more straightforward and are giving you some deck building restrictions and are kind of an easier access of play for some new players. And for that reason, I think that Robo Maeda might have something to offer to new players. For me, though, I was finding him a little bit hard to maintain into the competitive environment. That being said, guys, still kind of fun. Still kind of a fun ruler. Let me know what you guys think of him down in the comment section down below. Love to hear some of your opinions. Maybe you can redeem this guy a little bit for me. But until next time, guys, this has been Paul saying, class is dismissed. See you guys. Bye.